उमापति महादेव की जय, वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय, आदिशक्ति जगदम्बा देवी मैया की जय, श्री पवनपुत्र हनुमान की जय। सबको जय सीताराम। Let me extend a very warm, a very cordial welcome to each and everyone this morning. Our footsteps having led us here to the Mandir at 40 Todd Street in San Fernando. And for those persons who are viewing us online on YouTube or on Facebook, Shubh Swagatam. May Bhagwan bless us all. This morning, having made the very deliberate decision to come together as one family in Satsang, to offer our adorations, to express our gratitude, let us do so with reverence, let us do so with devotion, and let us do so with utmost humility. I invite us all to now stand as we engage in our invocation mantra. This morning as well, we want to extend our condolences to the Jamuna family. Many of us may be aware, some may not be, that Uncle Ranjit passed away last week, Wednesday, and his Anteshti Sanskar was held yesterday. And so for Pearl and Tara and other members of their family, we extend Bhagwanji's blessings. May you continue to derive that strength and that solace and that comfort. And indeed for all persons who may have lost loved ones, or for persons who may have relatives and friends who are in some way facing some medical or health challenge, we offer our prayer to Bhagwan as well. Let us join our palms together, let us close our eyes and go within as we engage in invocation. Hari Om. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namah. Om Shri Saraswate Namah. Om Shri Guru Charana Kamalebhyo Namah. Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirvignam Guru Me Deva Sarvakarishu Sarvara Jayanti Mangala Kali Bhadrakali Kapalini Durga Kshama Shiva Dhadri Swaha Swudha Namostute Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Mandir Jagadguru Nagindraharaya Trilochanaya Bhasmangaragaya Maheshwaraya Nityaya Shuddhaya Digambaragaya Asmai Nakaraya Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Ramaya Ramabhadraya Ramachandramavedase Raghunathaya Nathaya Sitaye Pataye Namaha. Om Manojavam Marutatulyavegyam Jetindriyam Buddhimatam Varishtam Vatatmajam Vanariyutamukam Shri Ramadutam Shirashi Namami. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om. Let us please resume our seats as we engage now in opening kirtan.
लंबोदर गजानना विघ्ननाशक गजानना लंबोदर गजानना विघ्ननाशक गजानना दुखनाशक गजानना भक्त रक्षक गजानना दुखनाशक गजानना भक्त रक्षक गजानना गजानना ही गजानना गजानना ही गजानना गजानना ही गजानना
गजानना ही गजानना
लंबोदर गजानना विघ्ननाशक गजानना लंबोदर गजानना विघ्ननाशक गजानना शिव गौरी स्नेहपात्रम वक्रतुंड गजानना शिव गौरी स्नेहपात्रम वक्रतुंड गजानना वक्रतुंड गजानना सर्वेश्वर विघ्नेश्वर पद्म पावन गजानना सर्वेश्वर विघ्नेश्वर पद्म पावन गजानना लंबोदर गजानना विघ्ननाशक गजानना लंबोदर गजानना विघ्ननाशक गजानना प्रथमेश्वर बुद्धिदाता भक्त पालक गजानना प्रथमेश्वर बुद्धिदाता भक्त पालक गजानना भक्त पालक गजानना परम शोभन दुष्ट हंता संत रक्षक गजानना परम शोभन दुष्ट हंता संत रक्षक गजानना लंबोदर गजानना विघ्ननाशक गजानना लंबोदर गजानना विघ्ननाशक गजानना गजानना ही गजानना गजानना ही गजानना गजानना ही गजानना गजानना ही गजानना लंबोदर गजानना विघ्ननाशक गजानना लंबोदर गजानना विघ्ननाशक गजानना विघ्ननाशक गजानना विघ्ननाशक गजानना
प्रेम से बोले श्री गणेश भगवान की जय. We join together now as we render those wonderful verses in praise of Mahavir Swami. Let us all join together now as we sing together Hanuman Chalisa.
श्री गुरु चरण सरोज रज निज मन मुकुर सुधार बरनो रघुबर विमल जसु जो दायक पल चार बुद्धिहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरो पवन कुमार बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि हर हो कलेश विकार जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर, जय कपीस तिहु लोक उजागर। रामदूत अतुलित बल धामा, अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा। महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी, कुमति निवार सुमति के संगी। कंचन बरन विराज सुवेशा, कानन कुंडल कुंचित केसा। आर्धवज्र और ध्वजा विराजे, कांधे मूंज जनेऊ साजे। शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन, तेज प्रताप महाजगवंदन। विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर, राम काज करिबे को आतुर। प्रभु चरित्र सुनिबे को रसिया, राम लखन सीता मन बसिया। सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सियहि दिखावा, विकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा। भीम रूप धरि असुर संहारे, रामचंद्र के काज सवारे। लाए सजीवन लखन जियाए, श्री रघुवीर हर्ष उर लाए। रघुपति कीन्ही बहुत बड़ाई, तुम मम प्रिय भरतहि सम भाई। सहस बदन तुम्हरो यश गावे, अस कहि श्रीपति कंठ लगावे। सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीसा, नारद शारद सहित अहिसा। यम कुबेर दिगपाल जहाती, कवि कोविद कहि सके कहाती। तुम उपकार सुग्रीव ही कीना, राम मिलाए राजपद दीना। तुमरो मंत्र विभीषण माना, लंकेश्वर भय सब जग जाना। युग सहस्र जो जन पर भानु, लील्यो ताहि मधुर फल जानु। प्रभु मुद्रिका मिली मुख माही, जलधि लांघ गए अचरज नाही। दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते, सुगम अनुग्रह तुम्हारे तेते। राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे, होत न आज्ञा बिन पैसारे। सब सुख लहे तुम्हारी सरना, तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना। आपन तेज समारो आपे, तीनों लोक हांकते कापे। भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवे, महावीर जब नाम सुनावे। नासे रोग हरे सब पीरा, जपत निरंतर हनुमत बीरा। संकट से हनुमान छुड़ावे, मन क्रम वचन ध्यान जो लावे। सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा, तिनके काज सकल तुम साजा। और मनोरथ जो कोई लावे, सोई अमृत जीवन फल पावे। चारों युग प्रताप तुम्हारा, है प्रसिद्ध जगत उजियारा। साधु संत के तुम रखवारे, असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे। अष्ट सिद्धि नव निधि के दाता, असबर दीन जानकी माता। राम रसायन तुम्हारे पासा, सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा। तुम्हारे भजन राम को पावे, जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावे। अंत काल रघुवरपुर जाए, जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाई। और देवता चित न धरई, हनुमत से सर्व सुख करई। संकट कटे मिटे सब पीरा, जो सुमिरे हनुमत बलबीरा। जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई, कृपा करहु गुरुदेव की नाई। जो सत बार पाठ कर कोई, छूत ही बंद महासुख होई। जो यह पढ़े हनुमान चालीसा, होई सिद्धि साखी गौरीसा। तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा, कीजय नाथ हृदय महाडेरा। कीजय नाथ हृदय महाडेरा। पवन तनय संकट हरन, मंगल मूर्ति रूप। राम लखन सीता सहित, हृदय बसहु सुरभूप। सियापति रामचंद्र जी की जय शरणम। पवन सुत हनुमान की जय।
We join together now in our weekly offering of the verses from Srimad Bhagavad Gita. As has been commenced at the beginning of this year, January 2023, initiated by Pandit Dev, we have been invited to consider the shlokas of Bhagavad Gita. And this morning we have gotten to chapter 12, and I'll be asking if there's anyone who would like to volunteer to read the shlokas in English in chapter 12. So while you think about that a little bit, we're doing the entirety of chapter 12. And I will speak a little bit about the intention in terms of completing the remaining chapters and verses. Before, however, we get to that, we will join, as we've been doing, in shlokas, or some of the beginning shlokas of Gita Dhyanam. And I invite us all to join together as we recite these together. So Gita Dhyanam, before we get to chapter 12. Let us all join together as we sit upright. The words are on the screen, or some of you may have copies. Hari Om
Parthaya pratibodhitam bhagavata Narayaninya
Swayam
Vyasena grahitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitamrutavarshini Bhagavati Ashtadashadhyayini Amba Tvamanusandadami Bhagavad Gite Bhavadveshini
Namostute
Vyasa Vishala Buddhi Punal Vrindyat Patra Netra Yena Tvad Bharata Tela Purna Prajvalito Jnana Maya Prabhu अमृतदुहे नमः। सर्व उपनिषदो गावो दोग्धा गोपालनन्दना। पार्थो वत्स सुधीर्भोक्ता दोग्धां गीतामृतां महत्।
वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दम् कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरु। कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरु। कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरु।
Om Shri Krishnai Govindai Namo Namaha. I invite you to open Bhagavad Gita, touch your forehead as we get to chapter 12. And we are reading the entirety of chapter 12. Those of you who are on the benches, there are copies on the side of the benches that you can take. Do we have a volunteer for chapter 12? Suren will read for us chapter 12. Let us all read together as we are led by Suren.
Arjun said, "The devotees exclusively and constantly devoted to you, in the manner stated just earlier, adore you as possessed of form and attributes, and those who adore as the supreme reality, only the indestructible, unmanifest Brahm, who is truth, knowledge, and bliss solidified. Of these two types of worshippers, who are the best knowers of yoga?" Sri Bhagavan said, "I consider them to be the best yogis, who endowed with supreme faith and ever united through meditation with me, worship me, and with the mind concentered on me. Those, however, who fully controlling all their senses and even-minded towards all, and devoted to the welfare of all beings, constantly adore as their very self the unthinkable, omnipresent, indestructible, indefinable, eternal, immovable, unmanifest, and changeless Brahm, they too come to me. Of course, the strain is greater for those who have their mind attached to the unmanifest, as attunement with the unmanifest is attained with difficulty by the body-conscious people. On the other hand, those who, depending exclusively on me and surrendering all actions to me, worship me, God with attributes, constantly meditating on me with single-mindedly devotion, them, Arjun, I speedily deliver them from the ocean of birth and death, their mind being fixed on me. Therefore, fix your mind on me and establish your intellect in me alone. Thereafter, you will abide solely in me. There is no doubt about it. If you cannot steadily fix the mind on me, Arjun, then seek to attain me through the yoga of practice. If you are unequal even to the pursuit of such practice, be intent to work for me. You shall attain perfection in the shape of my realization, even by performing actions for my sake. If, taking recourse to the yoga of my realization, you are unable to even do this, then subduing your mind and intellect, relinquish the fruit of all actions. Knowledge is better than practice without discernment. Meditation on God is superior to knowledge, and renunciation of the fruit of actions is even superior to meditation. For peace immediately follows from renunciation. He who is free from malice towards all beings, friendly and compassionate, rid of I and mine, balanced in joy and sorrow, forgiving by nature, ever contented, and mentally united with me, nay, who has subdued his mind, senses, and body, has a firm resolve, and has surrendered his mind and reason to me, that devotee of mine is dear to me. He who is not a source of annoyance to his fellow creatures, and who in his turn does not feel vexed with his fellow creatures, and who is free from delight and envy, perturbation and fear, is dear to me. He who wants nothing, who is both internally and externally pure, is wise and impartial, and has risen above all distractions, and who renounces the sense of doership in all undertakings, such a devotee of mine is dear to me. He who neither rejoices nor hates, nor grieves nor desires, and renounces both good and evil actions, and is full of devotion, is dear to me. He who deals equally with friend and foe, and is the same in honor and ignominy, who is alike in heat and cold, pleasure and pain, and other contrary experiences, and is free from attachment. He who takes praise and reproach alike, and is given to contemplation, and is contented with any means of subsistence available, entertaining no sense of ownership and attachment in respect of his dwelling place, and is full of devotion to me, that person is dear to me. Those devotees, however, who partake in a disinterested way of this nectar of pious wisdom, set forth above, endowed with faith and solely devoted to me, they are extremely dear to me. Thus, in the Upanishad sung by the Lord, the science of Brahm, the scripture of Yoga, the dialogue between Sri Krishna and Arjuna ends the 12th chapter entitled The Yoga of Devotion.
Jai.
Let us sit upright as we contemplate for a few moments on that most magnificent form of Sri Krishna. I invite us to gaze at that murti before us of that most magnificent Lord, holding in his hand his basuri, adorned on his head is the peacock feather. Let us now fix our gaze on his lotus-like feet and allow our gaze to drift very slowly upwards. His legs, his torso, to his chest and arms, upwards to his face with that very smiling, very loving, very compassionate countenance. And then once more slowly allow your gaze to move downwards. His neck, his chest, his legs, and then finally once more to his lotus-like feet. And we close our eyes with that form of that most compassionate being, firmly entrenched in our hearts, feeling ourselves transported to his very presence and surrendering ourselves completely to his feet. As we lie in complete surrender, let us individually offer our prayer of thanks and gratitude. Let us individually offer that prayer seeking that divine inspiration and protection. Let us seek forgiveness for any transgressions that we may have committed against our fellow man, or indeed against any of God's creation. And let us ask for that strength, that solace, and that comfort, that we will continue to strive to perform the noble acts and the noble deeds, that we would continue to do so selflessly, without expectation for any reward, for the upliftment of all of God's creation. Whatever we have in our heart, whatever we have in our mind, let us offer that to the Lord. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते
वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ श्री कृष्णाय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। Very slowly once more we open our eyes, gazing once more that most compassionate, most divine being. We rub our palms together, pass over our face and our entire bodies, retaining that divine energy gleaned from our chanting and our meditation. Sabko Jai Sitaram. Let me once more extend a very warm welcome to each and every one of you this morning as we join together as a family in satsang on this very beautiful Sunday morning here at the Mandir, Todd Street. We extend again once more a very warm welcome to those persons who are viewing us online, including those persons who will view this satsang during the course of the week, as many persons do from different parts of the globe and from different remote regions. We extend a warm welcome to you from our family. This morning, I want to speak very, very briefly in terms of the topic of tyagi, or detachment. And to my mind, it is an opportune topic at this particular time for many reasons, both those that affect us on an individual basis, that which impacts upon us at a national level, as well as what we are experiencing currently globally. It is again fortuitous that the verses that we were all joined together in reciting this morning from chapter 12 of Srimad Bhagavad Gita spoke about the answer by Krishna Bhagwan to the question posed by Arjuna about who would be considered the most ideal devotee, and indeed what are the qualities that are inherent in that devotee. And there are many things that were said to us by Krishna Bhagwan, and I invite us all this evening or sometime during the day or week ahead, that when we get a moment, let us revisit chapter 12 of Bhagavad Gita, and let us indeed study those shlokas and the impact and purport of what is said to us all. One of the things that was said by Krishna Bhagwan, and that was taken from shloka 16, and again I will go to the English so that we all recognize the meaning of it, is he says, "He who expects nothing, who is both internally and externally pure and impartial, and has risen above all distraction, and who renounces the sense of doership in all undertakings, such a devotee of mine is dear to me." Tyagi means detachment or renunciation. That is the meaning that we have ascribed to that word as best as we can. And when we think of all of our scriptures without exception, one of the underlying themes and the prescriptions that are contained is that of detachment, overcoming Maya and overcoming attachment which this physical world sometimes has us in a firm embrace. And the ability to do that is not something that is easy at all. The way in which that can be done is, again, something that is not easy at all. But it is a prescription that has been and continues to be recommended to us all. If we think of, for example, and this morning again, we rendered those verses of Hanuman Chalisa. And when we think about Hanumanji, one of the words used to describe him is he's a brahmachari. And when we speak about brahmachari, there are many things that come to mind, and a favorite and most frequently used equivalent is one who is celibate. Not celebrated, celibate. And that means certain things and has certain connotations, but Hanumanji's status as a brahmachari means a whole lot more than that. It means one who is capable of and who espouses the qualities of self-discipline in all of his actions. Self-discipline. One who exercises restraint. One who performs actions not for any sense of doership, as Krishna Bhagavan says, not one who expects the fruit of the actions for his personal gains, but one who does his action, or performs his action rather, without any sense of expectation. If we call upon ourselves to introspect and question our motives sometimes, and I'm not speaking about anybody here, about why we do things, what is the rationale for performing certain actions, or sometimes latent within us, that feeling of expectation, we would recognize that that's a very powerful driving force in most, if not all, of the things that we do. And there's nothing wrong with expectation in some way. We would, for example, expect that if we live a healthy lifestyle, then we will engage in a sense of wellness. We would mitigate any kind of health challenges that may come our way. And that is a good expectation. We would also have the expectation that we engage in the practices that have been prescribed for us in our scriptures, that of sacrifice, that of performing japam, that of performing meditation, as we've done this morning, that of performing puja, that of performing seva, that if we engage in those actions, then the expectation is that we will continue to elevate ourselves and draw ourselves closer to God. So that is a good expectation. For many of the students who were rejoicing on Friday or a couple days before because end of term test finished, one would have expected or have a reasonable expectation that having studied hard and having put in the hours of work, that your results in your examinations would be as you desire. That is an expectation, which is not a bad one. But sometimes it is that we become so driven by expectation that when those expectations do not materialize in the way in which we would have them, or they don't materialize at all, that we become disenchanted, we become demoralized, we become disillusioned, and that peace or equanimity that we ought to have is lost. And then that leads itself to anger, to resentment, to pride, and to making certain decisions and performing certain actions that are undesirable. Let us think of a few examples of where the sense of attachment can sometimes lead us to a place that we ought not to be. Think of a child who has been told, and any little children here who shouldn't be here, let's cover their ears, that on the 25th of December, there is a certain expectation of an individual that will arrive and bestow upon them certain things. And that expectation is fanned not only by parents and relatives, but by peers, where there's the comparison of who will get what because they've been good or not nice, as the case might be. And it is also fanned to a great measure by commercialism. Now, if that were not to materialize on the 25th, of the morning of the 25th, there would be some measure of disappointment and disenchantment from a little child. And that's at a very low level. Think of ourselves throughout our various parts, whether it be our academic pursuits for young ones, in your studies and in your academic career. Think about ourselves in terms of career pursuits and certain expectations that we may have. Think of our relationships that we have or would like to have. For many young people, wanting to have a relationship with somebody is an extreme expectation that is driven by peer pressure and by expectation, both within and without. And sometimes when that does not materialize within the timeline or with the particular person and things of that nature, there's depression, there's anxiety, and there's a whole host of other things that come with it, because that expectation is not realized. For many other persons, when you are in an established relationship, for example, with a spouse, and something goes awry with that relationship, and that expectation of how things ought to be is not realized or is broken, there is extreme hardship in many instances. And we've seen, quite unfortunately, and up to quite recently, the pathway that that kind of situation and breaking relationship leads. It leads sometimes to the death of one or more persons, innocent parties as well, in all of this. And therefore, we recognize that at a personal and individual level, this expectation of that kind, where we are not sufficiently detached from the fruits of our action or thought processes, can lead us down to a path of destruction and that of others. The very story contained in Mahabharata is an example of that, of expectation, of desires that are unfulfilled, and things of that nature. When we think of the destruction of Ravan, that is another example of attachment and leading down that pathway. If we think at a global level, we can see, for example, the conflict that exists in Palestine, the conflict that exists and the war that exists between Russia and Ukraine, the conflict that is often forgotten, that happens and is occurring right now as we speak in Africa, the conflict that exists and that is escalating on our back door between Venezuela and Guyana. Those are conflicts where persons are caught up and the decision makers are caught up by desires that are not beneficial, either to themselves, to their citizens, to their fellow humans, or indeed to anybody, as much as they may want to think otherwise. What is happening in Gaza, what is happening between that Israeli and Palestinian conflict, and in some instances genocide, benefits absolutely no one. There are no winners in that. That escalation that is occurring between Venezuela and Guyana, there can be no real winners in that. One may end up with more territory than the other, but is there really a winner in that situation? Is there going to be development in a sustainable way after that? And those are the things that we question ourselves. And it is important to recognize that our scriptures, at an individual level, at a community level, at an organizational level and national level, and indeed an international level, provides us with the solutions and answers to these problems. And they start with the individual. If as individuals we don't inculcate those traits and those tendencies that will allow us to be effective persons who are guided by the proper rationale for making decisions, firstly in our homes, then in our places of employ or community organizations, then in the community or at a national level, then how can we expect the goodness and the nobility that we seek? So it starts at the individual level for everyone without exception. For everyone without exception. And when we think about countries or organizations that are properly led, that are properly governed, where there's order and there's harmony and there's peace, think about the leadership style that facilitates that. And what are the traits of that leadership style that enables that peace and that harmony? In Ramcharitmanas, we have told about Ram Raj, the rulership of Prabhu Shri Ram after Ravan was vanquished, and the principles upon which that rulership was based. And so it is for us, this concept of tyagi or detachment at this time is important in every facet of our lives without exception. That when we give an act of charity, it should be from the depths of our heart in terms of compassion and love. It should not be because there is another reason for doing it, which is of a more selfish kind. When we assist someone else, we should do so without being solicited to do so. And again, it should not be because we are trying to gain anything. The story of Draupadi is very instructive. And I always use this example for Shrotas when they perform puja. When you are making that gift of Vastradan, when you are giving that gift of clothing. And I always ask the young one in particular, do you think Bhagwan requires clothes? Why are you giving clothes? Why are you making an offering of clothes? And some of them don't know the answer and they will instinctively say, yes, God needs clothes. I say, sure about that? And on reflection, maybe the question is, the answer is a different one. But you and I, we need clothing. If I were to walk around the place without clothing, I would be charged at a legal level. If I were to do so currently in Toronto, I would freeze to death. So I require that clothing. We require those physical things. Bhagwan doesn't require that. And Draupadi Mata gives us the example of the rationale. When Durvasa Muni was bathing in the river, because they didn't have bathtubs and hot water heaters and so on, they bathed in the river. And his clothing was washed away by the currents of the river. He was in a predicament because coming along the banks taking a walk was Draupadi and other members, her friends and so on, young ladies. And here is this esteemed Rishi taking his bath, his clothes is gone and these young ladies are coming. So he is now in a quandary because his humility, his dignity, his entire status will be offended. And Draupadi Mata was aware, and that's an important thing, the awareness. She was aware of his predicament and his challenge because she saw what was happening. And without hesitation, without her reaching out and saying, Beti or anybody, she tore her sari and gave it to him so that he could cover himself. She was not asked. She was observant and recognized that there was a need and that she could have done something to deal with the problem of another individual. She didn't know who he was either. He was so moved by that kind gesture that he blessed her and he said, Beti, whenever you are in need in the future, may Bhagwan bless you with abundance. And because she was not motivated by her action, because she did not do it without any sense of expectation or reward, that blessing took root. And many, many years later, and that's another lesson in that katha, that of patience, because the reward did not come instantaneously. It occurred many, many years later, when she was being disrobed in the court of the Kauravas. And she pleaded to everybody there, all of the princes and kings and rulers, to come to her aid. They knew who she was. Not a finger was raised. Nobody came to her assistance. And we know the katha, our youth group performed that reenactment some years ago when our youth group was in its heyday, right here in the annex. Beautiful, beautiful play that was put on. And as much as they pulled that sari, we know it was never depleted, to their exhaustion and to the protection of Draupadi. That blessing of Bhagwan came back at that time. And the root of that, in one view, is the giving in a way that there was no expectation. It was a detachment that took place in terms of what she did and how she performed that act. And so for ourselves, it is an important lesson as we go through our daily lives and why we do things, how we should do things, and things that we should avoid, things that would bring harm and hurt to others. And that sense of awareness is very important, because sometimes we caught up in our own little world and we are not thinking about the other person. And if we think about it, sometimes the people that we hurt the most, very oftentimes unintentionally, are the persons who are closest to us. And it is only when that hurt happens that we recognize sometimes that maybe I should not have done that, or maybe I should not have said that. And that's unfortunate, but it's never too late to make amends. And so, brothers and sisters, as I conclude this morning, I want to recommend or commend that practice to us all about being detached about what we do and why we do it. Bearing in mind that those actions, as I said, should be actions that are positive and uplifting. And we find told to us in Bhagavad Gita, Shlok 16 from chapter 12, that that person who engages in that practice is a very, very dear devotee of Krishna Bhagavan. Prem Swale Bindravan Bihari Lal Ki Jai. I invite us all now to come forward, perform your arti as members of the group engages in Kirtan. And once that is complete, we will be having our announcements, our arti and closing prayer. Auntie Vayu has prepared some wonderful packages for the young ones, for the children. So all children, there are little surprise packages for you all for the season. And so you came to Mandir, you didn't have an expectation that you would get a surprise package. And look, it has come to you. Thank you very much, Auntie and children. Before you leave today, or while the arti is going on, you can have them distributed so that the children will get. Yes. And I'm told that there's some big children that would like to have as well. So I hand over to the group.
Jai Shiva, Jai Shiva, Jai Shiva. Jai Shiva, Jai Shiva, Jai Shiva. Jai Shiva, Shiva, Jai Jai Shiva.
Jai Shiva, Shiva, Jai Jai Shiva. Shiva, Shiva, Jai Jai Shiva.
Jai Shiva Shankar Gauri Nath Parvati Pati Bhole. गिरिजापति कैलाशपति भव भय भंजक मायती
गिरिजापति कैलाशपति भव भय भंजक मायती
तेरे गुण गाता हर रोम
तेरे गुण
शिव शिव जय जय शिव ओम।
नीलकंठ घट घट वासी रुद्रदेव हर अविनाशी।
नीलकंठ घट घट वासी रुद्रदेव तू अविनाशी।
मस्तक पर शोभित है श्लोम।
सक पर शोभित है सोम।
जय शिव शिव जय जय शिव ओम।
जय शिव शिव जय जय शिव ओम।
जय गंगेश उमेश महेश विनती करे भक्त आदेश।
जय गंगेश उमेश महेश विनती करे भक्त आदेश।
ओ ना कभी नाथ विलो।
ओ ना कभी नाथ विलो।
जय शिव शिव जय जय शिव ओम।
जय शिव शिव जय जय शिव ओम।
जय शिव जय शिव 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 जय शिव ओम।
जय शिव शिव जय 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 जय शिव ओम।
वीर हनुमाना अति बलवाना राम राम रसिया रे। हे प्रभु मन बसिया रे।
वीर हनुमाना अति बलवाना राम नाम रसियाए। हे प्रभु मन बसियाए।
वीर हनुमाना अति बलवाना राम राम रसिया रे। हे प्रभु मन बसिया रे।
वीर हनुमाना अति बलवाना राम नाम रसियाए। हे प्रभु मन बसियाए।
सीताराम जय सीताराम सीताराम जय राधे श्याम।
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 वीर हनुमाना अति बलवाना राम राम रसिया रे। हे प्रभु मन बसिया रे।
वीर हनुमाना अति बलवाना राम नाम रसिया रे। हे प्रभु मन बसिया रे।
राम लक्ष्मण जानकी जय बोलो हनुमान की।
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 वीर हनुमाना अति बलवाना राम राम रसिया रे। हे प्रभु
वीरा हनुमाना अति बलवाना राम नाम रसिया रे हे प्रभु मन वसिया रे
रघुपति राघव राजा राम पतित पावन सीताराम
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 वीर हनुमाना अति बलवाना राम नाम रसिया रे हे प्रभु मन वसिया रे
वीरा हनुमाना अति बलवाना राम नाम रसिया रे हे प्रभु मन बसिया रे
सीताराम जय सीताराम सीताराम जय राधे श्याम
सीताराम जय सीताराम सीताराम जय राधे श्याम
सीताराम जय सीताराम सीताराम जय राधे राम
सीताराम जय सीताराम सीताराम जय राधे श्याम
वीरा हनुमाना अति बलवाना राम नाम रसिया रे हे प्रभु मन वसिया रे
वीरा हनुमाना अति बलवाना राम नाम रसिया रे हे प्रभु मन बसिया रे
राम लक्ष्मण जानकी जय बोलो हनुमान की
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 वीर हनुमाना अति बलवाना राम राम रसिया रे हे प्रभु मन वसिया रे
वीरा हनुमाना अति बलवाना राम नाम रसिया रे हे प्रभु मन बसिया रे
रघुपति राघव राजा राम पतित पावन सीताराम
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 वीर हनुमाना अति बलवाना राम राम रसिया रे हे प्रभु मन बसिया रे
वीरा हनुमाना अति बलवाना राम नाम रसिया रे हे प्रभु मन बसिया रे
बजरंगा बलियो बजरंगा बली
बजरंग बली बजरंग बली
बजरंगा बलियो बजरंगा बली
बजरंग बली बजरंग बली
महावीर बली महावीर बली
महावीर बली महावीर बली
महावीर बलियो महावीर बली
महावीर बली महावीर बली
महावीर बलियो महावीर बली
महावीर बली महावीर बली
वीर हनुमाना अति बलवाना राम राम रसिया रे हे प्रभु मन वसिया रे गोविंद बोलो हरि गोपाल बोलो
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 राधा रमण हरि गोविंद बोलो
राधा रमन हरि गोविंद बोलो
राधा रमण हरि गोविंद बोलो
राधा रमन हरि गोविंद बोलो
गोविंद बोलो हरि गोपाल 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 बोलो
राधा रमण हरि गोविंद बोलो
बोलो हरि गोपाल बोलो
गोविंद 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 बोलो हरि गोपाल बोलो
श्री राधा रमन हरि गोविंद बोलो
श्री राधा रमन हरि गोविंद बोलो
हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल
हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल
राधे 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 राधे
राधे राधे राधे राधे
कृष्णा 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 कृष्णा
कृष्णा कृष्णा कृष्णा कृष्णा
हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल
हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल
राधे 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 राधे
राधे राधे राधे राधे
कृष्णा 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 कृष्णा
कृष्णा कृष्णा कृष्णा कृष्णा
प्रेम से बोले वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय. Before we stand for Arti and for our closing prayer, I want to firstly extend a very warm welcome for everyone's attendance this morning, for all of you who've come out this morning physically here at the Mandir. We're very, very happy to see you all. I know it's a very busy time of year and many other activities that you could have chosen to attend or do. I know the house always needs cleaning and cupboards need attending to and all of that. So we're glad that you deferred that activity and instead made a conscious decision to join us here at the Mandir. For those of you who are viewing us online, we know that for very good reason you could not have attended and we miss you, but we look forward to seeing you when you are able to join us here physically at the Mandir. For our devotee Mala, who is still recovering from her injury, Mala, we miss you here at the Mandir and we look forward to seeing you back with us once you are restored to good health once more. We extend a very special welcome this morning to a devotee, Bhaiji, who is back with us. He used to attend the Mandir some time ago. He's sitting at the back. The name escapes me now. And attended the Mandir some time ago, lived abroad and is back with us. So we welcome you to the Krishna Mandir family this morning, as well as those devotees who are back with us after some period of absence. As we said, on a very sad note, we extend condolences to the Jamuna family, Auntie Sylvie, who we knew, and Uncle Ramjit, as a very wonderful couple here at the Mandir. Auntie Sylvie passed some years ago, and Uncle Ramjit, unfortunately, passed on Wednesday gone, and his Antishti Sanskar funeral took place yesterday. And we extend condolences to the family, particularly to his daughters, Pearl and Tara, and the grandchildren. May Bhagwan continue to give you that strength and that comfort needed at this time of your loss. Other persons would have lost their loved ones during the course of the year, and it is, as you approach this season, sometimes a difficult one to deal with. And we ask that Bhagwan give you that strength and that courage. On a more joyful note, there are many things to celebrate. So the young children are celebrating test done. Yay. All right, so they're all smiling because they're now on holidays, but remember, you still have little things that you need to continue doing even though there's a break. We also want to take the opportunity to extend birthday greetings to Mrs. Rachel Gyan, who celebrates her birthday tomorrow. So we want to extend that Tejasri's mom. We want to extend birthday greetings to her and indeed to other persons who may be celebrating their birthdays or anniversaries, or we are all just celebrating life. We extend that congratulations to all. Religious calendars are on sale as of this morning. We've gotten copies from the Sanatan Dharma Mahasabha. And like everything else, prices are going up. So the cost price per calendar, and this is the cost price, how much we paid for it, is $10 per copy. So we would ask if you can meet or exceed the cost price. Whatever donation you give in excess of the $10 will come towards the Mandir as a donation. So copies are available after service. Right at the back, you can see the treasurer or the chairman or any member of management committee to get your copies. And Daniel is coming for his copy right now. In addition to that, as we know, Gita Jayanti is coming up on the 22nd of December. Very wonderful time, 22nd of December. It's a Friday, so it's a work day. Now, as I mentioned earlier on in the service, Pandit Dev has led an initiative this year of we all reading the English of Bhagavad Gita so that we all become familiar with the shlokas of Bhagavad Gita in a language that is universal to all of us here. Right, rather than doing it in Sanskrit only. We've been learning the Gita Dhyanam, so by now I think everybody's proficient in the Gita Dhyanam, but also we've been going through Bhagavad Gita from chapter 1, and as of today, we've completed chapter 12. Next week we will begin chapter 13, and we will stop at that point, because next week will be the 17th. The 22nd, the Gita Jayanti, we will be celebrating through Puja, Krishna Bhagwan Puja, which will be performed from 9 a.m. And then once that is complete, we will invite families of the Mandir to assist in the reading of shlokas from chapter 14 onwards. So families or individuals. All right, so what I am asking for this morning is if you are available on the 22nd of December, it is a work day, I know, but many of you may not be at work on that day, to spend some time with us in the morning. So we expect to finish by 11:30. We'll start puja at 9. For those persons who would like to sit for puja, again, you prepare yourselves accordingly. If you can't make the puja but you come slightly later, that's fine as well. But we are going to finish by about 11:30. And if in coming you would be willing, as was done by Sarin this morning, to read some of the shlokas from chapter 14 onwards. So those persons who are available and who would like to join in that enterprise and in that form of devotion and that form of puja, I will ask you to give your names to Mr. Babulal. So Vishnu, I know everybody knows you, but please still stand. Please give your names. Those of you who are looking online, you can again contact us at the Mandir so that we know that you would be willing to. And whether it is a chapter or part of a chapter, let us know so that we can then assign it to you beforehand so you can familiarize yourselves so you're not caught on the spot on the morning of the 22nd in terms of now seeing the shlokas for the first time. So those, and we're really encouraging all persons and families who have been steadfast in coming to Mandir and in joining in this wonderful form of devotion to give your names and to come so that we can conclude this sankalp that was made at the beginning of the year and conclude the reading and recitation of Bhagavad Gita on the 22nd. So again, those of you who are willing to do so, particularly the young ones, you know, young people now, they're off of school and exams and so on. So you have a little bit more time on your hands, so you can come and spend the morning with us. We will provide lunch, so that's an incentive, right? Not an expectation, now you know, so you know what's coming. So please come and join us on that morning. Anybody who would like to give donations towards the upkeep of the Mandir, you're asked to do so to any member of the management committee or treasurer, Mrs. Neela Maharaj. Before I conclude, there's another young man who is celebrating his birthday on Wednesday. You don't see him, but you see his work. So those of you who are looking online, every Sunday, this young man by the name of Dariel Ramharak comes early. He sets up our live stream and he operates our live stream very quietly. And again, another individual who wants and who has no expectation for his seva, but we want to extend to him birthday greetings as he will be celebrating his birthday on Wednesday. So happy birthday, Dariel. And when we conclude our service, we will have the birthday song. So let us all now stand for our final arti and then closing prayer.
Om Jai Jagadish Hare Swami Jai Jagadish Hare Bhakt Jano ke sankat दास जनों के संकट क्षण में दूर करे ओम जय जगदीश हरे फल पावे, दुख बिन से मन का। स्वामी दुख बिन से मन का। सुख संपत्ति घर आवे, सुख संपत्ति घर आवे, कष्ट मिटे तन का। ओम जय जगदीश हरे। मात पिता तुम मेरे, शरण गहूँ किसकी। स्वामी शरण गहूँ किसकी। तुम बिन और न दूजा, तुम बिन और न दूजा, आश करो जिसकी। ओम जय जगदीश हरे। तुम पूरन परमात्मा, तुम अंतर्यामी। स्वामी तुम अंतर्यामी। पार ब्रह्म परमेश्वर, पार ब्रह्म परमेश्वर, तुम सबके स्वामी। ओम जय जगदीश हरे। तुम करुणा के सागर, तुम पालन करता। स्वामी तुम पालन करता। हम सेवक तुम स्वामी, हम सेवक तुम स्वामी, कृपा करो भरता। ओम जय जगदीश हरे। कह गोचर सबके प्राणपति, स्वामी सबके प्राणपति। किस विधि मिलो दया में, किस विधि मिलो दया में, तुमको मैं कुमति। ओम जय जगदीश हरे। दीन बंधु दुख हरता, तुम रक्षक मेरे। स्वामी तुम रक्षक मेरे। अपने हाथ उठाओ, अपने हाथ उठाओ, द्वार पर तेरे। ओम जय जगदीश हरे। ओम जय जगदीश हरे। स्वामी जय जगदीश हरे। भक्त जनों के संकट, दास जनों में संकट, क्षण में दूर करे। ओम जय जगदीश हरे। ओम जय जगदीश हरे। ओम जय जगदीश हरे।
Even as we are engaged in puja this morning, the Pandits of the Pandits Parishad of the Sanatan Dharma Mahasabha are currently engaged in recitation of Maha Gayatri, Mata Japam, which would have started at 6 a.m. this morning and which will conclude at 6 p.m. this evening. Those who would like to make that journey to the Krishna Mandir at St. Augustine, you are invited to do so. And let us now, as we close, join together in chanting 3 times that very powerful mantra for the benefit not of only of ourselves individually, but that most powerful mantra that guides the decision making and intellect of all. We ask that at an individual level that our decisions be guided. We ask at a community and organizational level that the decision of leaders also be guided. At an international level and the level of the leaders of this world, that their decisions and actions would also be guided to lead us to that pathway of righteousness, to that pathway of light, and away from the darkness of ignorance, and for decisions that could lead us to destruction. Let us chant together, brothers and sisters. Hari Om Bhurbhuvah
Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. Om Bhurbhuvah Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. Om Bhurbhuvah Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat.
We join together now in one voice.
Tvameva Mata Shapita Tvameva Tvameva Bandhu Shasaka Tvameva Tvameva Vidya Dravinam Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva. Om Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityodama Amritam Gamaya. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om.
प्रेम से बोले श्री गणेश भगवान की जय, उमापति महादेव की जय, वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय, आज शक्ति जगदम्बा देवी मैया की जय, श्री पवन पुत्र हनुमान की जय, प्रेम से बोले श्री सच्चे सनातन धर्म की जय. Gentlemen around you, sab koi jai jai Sitaram. Have a very wonderful day, a very powerful and productive week ahead, and we look forward to seeing you all with us next Sunday. Jai Sitaram. We have the birthday song for our celebrants.